A great personality makes everyone feel very energized. They are just like the scent of a flower. The very one. My name is Jamal. Welcome to Get. Welcome back. My guest today is the priest in charge of St. Mark's Mission AP. He's also the convener of the popular KSS Festival in Makurdi, the Benue State capital. Reverend Father Solomon Mfa is our guest on Get to Know Me today. Father, thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Welcome.
It's good to have you.
Thank
You
you.
look very beautiful. I like this outfit. Tell us more about the KSS Festival.
KSS, it's Shashwa is a cultural initiative that I conceived and birthed it so that I'll bring back the scattered Tiv nation under one umbrella because the Tiv people are no longer the united Tiv that we used to know. And so I was thinking of what I'll use in bringing them together. So I thought if I organize a crusade, some may say, I'm not a Catholic, so that is just meant for the priest, for the Catholics. And if I ask a pastor to do some may say, I'm not a Pentecostal, I'm not an NKST person. And if I ask a politician to do some, say, oh, that is PDP, that is APC. And so I was looking for something that everything I would identify with. And then I remembered one delicacy of the T people that was also going extinct. That is the Kiesheshwa. Because of those of us who had the privilege of growing up with their grandparents, they told us much about the Kiesheshwa. And Kiesheshwa, K is chicken, Eshwa is sesame, or some call Beneseed. And so it's a delicacy of the T people. It was going extinct also, just like unity of the T people. So I said to myself, every Tima eats. Every Tima eats. And this is a delicacy that every Tima appreciates, for those who knew it. So let me use that which is going extinct to bring the unity of the T people that is going extinct, revive culture, and see how we can preserve the culture.
How long has this festival been holding in Benue?
It's about seven years now, because I started it when I was in Daudu, and I've left Daudu for some time now. So it's about seven plus.
I see it's a festival that people attend very much, and you have also brought in fashion into the cultural festival every year, because like what you're wearing now. So tell me, has the festival been a very productive one for you?
Yeah, it has been very, very productive. As a matter of fact, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I started.
What are the challenges produced in this festival?
The challenges misinterpretation, misunderstanding that begets misinterpretation, and then misrepresentation. I suffered much for this because some refused to see it for what it is. They thought I was trying to just kind of build some political empire.
I was about to ask that as well.
One day, because many accused me because originally I'm from Kwande. I only happen to be working here. And so from the political calculations, the next governor was supposed to come from that axis. So some thought that I was trying to gather people around me so that I'll plug my political ambition.
Are you hosting this festival for a political ambition?
No. And in fact, one of the reasons why and what has encouraged me to do this festival is the division that politics has brought to the T people. Like I said, in T party, in the PAF T,
which is
politics has divided the T nation.
Oh yes.
And so I was trying to use this to unite the T people so that together would progress more than we have. So I cannot, and I keep telling people that I cannot go into partisan politics. When things are wrong, I'll offer my opinion and see what can be done about it. But I cannot be with PDP, APC, Labour Party, and all that because by virtue of my calling, that would divide my congregation. And then by virtue of this, which I started, I cannot align with one political party because I will use my own hands in scattering what I've put together.
But development sometimes in Nigeria comes with the help of like minds, like people like you. If you're given an opportunity, let's say government invites you and say, okay, Father, come do this for us, do this for us, or be in charge of this, would that be a responsibility you want to take?
No, for now, I don't see that happening. Most have this has offered me the opportunity to interact with the thief people, young thief men, those who are just here will not. I've had this in Abuja, I had this in Lagos, and then when we when we had it in Lagos, the neighboring town thief people came. I interacted with the thief nation, and I know that there are some talents that are yet to be discovered. And if I'm asked, I cannot go in myself, but if I'm asked, I know who and who that I can point to that can do far better than I can ever do.
Does the KSS still have a platform for talent hunt?
Yeah.
It does.
Yes, it does.
Okay. If you're just joining us, we'll be speaking to the very brain behind and the convener of the KSS Festival, Reverend Father Solomon Mfa. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Get to Know Me with Jamal. I've been talking to very Reverend Father Solomon Mfa, the priest in charge of St. Mark Mission, API, and the convener of KSS here in Benue State. Father, I would like to ask, because I mentioned earlier, I said the festival holds in Makurdi. Is it just in Makurdi? Because sometimes I see clips from Lagos, Abuja. Where exactly does this festival hold?
The grand finale happens in Boko, because Boko happens to be the headquarters of the Tiv Nation.
Exactly.
And that's where the Tiv people, the Toti is, and it's more central because we had it along Lafia Road before Daudu, and we discovered that some who left Zaki Biam, who were coming from Vandika, who were coming from Taraku, on arrival, that was when we were rounding up. So we decided that since Boko is the headquarters of the Tiv Nation, it's more central, let us be having it in Boko. And more so that it spans for 2 days. Well, what we call a writing night, the night before the main event. So have you coming in from far and near and to stay the night? And so you have in some of these places that you may not have the needed accommodation.
As an ordained priest and someone who has a very, very strong Christian background, a lot of people would think that you would have hosted maybe a crusade or some sort of vigil, but you ended up choosing a social gathering. Has this interfered in your calling as a priest?
It hasn't. That is I love that question because many people get it wrong. In the church, and when I was studying for the priesthood, we had something like enculturation. We're doing enculturation. You have to take people from the known to the unknown. And God, even Jesus had his own culture, had his own people. Some of the things we hear about the mustard seed, that means that are cultural to his people. And so using it for parables, we made them understood him better. So for us to really preach the gospel, we have to go cultural. The language, you have the Bible in two language and other languages, because we don't insist on reading having it in Hebrew or Greek.
Yeah.
And so you have to really take people. The church, Christianity, talks unity, talks development, progress, forgiveness, and all that. And that is what KSS does. When we come, we tell ourselves that what we have in common is far greater than what divides us.
Yes.
We are sons of Tiv, we are daughters of Tiv, and let us sit together. Unity.
I must commend you because it's a very huge festival.
Yeah.
A lot of people attend that festival. But let's move from the festival and go back to the one you recently started doing, the Imelgo or the Moonlight Storytelling.
Okay.
Yes. Tell us more about that one.
Have discovered that gradually the Tiv culture, so much about it is going extinct. And when we were small, we used to hang around and then they're telling us stories, the Kwahi, Kwalom, the Kikai Kilis, and then there was so much wisdom in that. And then some of the stories will end with a lesson that you should avoid this. If you do not, this is what you get. But we discovered that gradually some of these things are just going out. So I just said, let me start that. And then I experienced it at my place, my new place. And I'm sure you saw it.
The idea.
And I was surprised that people came and the excitement, the young, the old, they were remembering the past. The young were getting to know what the future holds and like that. So gradually, we are reviving our culture.
Is this a way for you to replay your childhood?
Yeah. And I was so surprised. Those who qualified to be my grandparents, the way they came, the excitement about it, You must have seen it, how it went. It was something else. So we need platforms like that, because the African man, I would say the Tea man particularly, they have a rich cultural heritage. And gradually this thing is being buried. And then, but it's in them. So they're always looking for a platform to have it displayed. And so when you begin the platform like that, you see, at some point there was no festival, there was nothing like that around here. Farm Jam was gone, everything was gone until I started KSS. And I'm happy to say today that I'm a grandpa, because KSS birthed so many festivals. And yeah, some went there and they picked, and then here now we're having festivals, we're having things that to keep people, especially when they come home, December and all that. So it's a good thing.
How do you get funding for KSS?
Yeah, funding for KSS has all been people of goodwill, friends. Yeah, friends. Like with KSS now, I know better the parable of the mustard seed, because I know how I started in Daudo. Started, friends, take this tube of yam, take this chicken, take that. Interestingly, it came from those who do not have much, from friends, young friends.
Is the government involved in helping you produce this event?
Sorry?
Is the government involved?
Yeah, government was involved at some point. The government was involved, but the help was not always coming the way one expect, because of the might and the strength of the government. And sometimes the help was always coming when it was appeared to be late. But we did the best we could with the help they gave. But I think if government wants to look into things like that, what that will bring for the people, the tourism and all that, and then they support it, I think there's something else. Because in Boko, when KS is about and you delay, all the hotels are filled up. All the hotels are filled up. So those who are smart, they book ahead before December. And then people are coming from far and near, and then they see what is there. So they go out with stories and all that. So I think it's something that if government comes and then they are serious, that would really help the state.
Okay. I want to ask, what is your greatest achievement in life? What have you achieved so far as a priest and someone at your age?
My greatest achievement in life, do I call it achievement? God has God has written straight, even my crooked lines. Because sometimes I see and say I'm not qualified for what I am today, because God has qualified me, and He has given me the graces I need to touch lives. So for me, the greatest thing a man can do to another man is to impact, to touch life.
Yes.
And that's why I keep telling people that my philosophy of life is that life should be a window through which you can see others.
Yes.
Not just a mirror. You see only your face, your fine cheeks, and you're contented. Other people are going through pains, are going through hunger and sickness and all that. So if you see life like a window, you can see through, and then as you are rejoicing somebody's morning, if you see it as a mirror, just see yourself. I think that's the end. I think God has. I've had rough times. I've had tough times. I've had pains, and my greatest achievement is that the pains I've experienced in life, they've taught me compassion. And for me, that is huge.
Being in the social circle because of the KSS the festival you put up, there are a lot of people who come out to criticize you.
Sure.
Of course, you've heard all those criticism. What have you been? How have you been able to manage that?
For me, if you are not criticized, if anything you're doing are not criticized, then you should have to think well. Maybe you're just fooling yourself.
Because you don't need everybody to clap for you.
Because even children, when you see them plucking unripe mangoes, they don't aim for the unripe mangoes. They aim for the ripe ones. It's just that they can't target well. So when people criticize you, when they come for you, the way, especially the way our society is, know that you're making something. So I have been able to sustain. Let me use the cases example. To sustain cases these days, because I don't see those who criticize me as enemies. Somebody once said that your antagonist may be your helper. That he who wrestles you strengthens your nerves and sharpens your skills. So when people like John Cena, Brock Lesnar, Israel Desanya, they're making names because they know that they've been through a lot. They are real adversaries. So if you face adversaries, they sharpen your skills and then strengthen your nerves, and then your antagonist now becomes your helper because they help you make a name.
Well, Solomon Mfa is one name that we're not around here for short, so we know that you're actually doing something great. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So, Father, let me quickly ask you, what's the worst advice someone has ever given to you?
The worst advice.
The worst advice.
The worst. Sometimes I have people like a few days back. Some guys munched what somebody wrote on his Facebook, on his wall about me, about all the politics that's happening. It is somebody that when his handshake went beyond the elbow, I had to block him. So I don't say the stuff he writes. Some people send and then he said blah blah blah. I said no. It's people that are looking for my trouble because I blocked this guy. I don't want to see what he writes. And say that I should take on him or I can. I said no. So sometimes the worst advice anybody can give me I've had is to go after those who hurt me, because for me I believe that for any enduring gain, you must endure pain.
Yes.
There's always a Good Friday before Easter Sunday.
Oh.
So when things like that, then oftentimes when things like that come to me, they prepare me for something better. I've had scars on my body. And I've discovered that places that I've had scars, no mosquito can bite because there's no the hair, the root. So,
I must say, Father, you're a jolly good fellow. Tell me about your circle of friends. How do you relax when you're not either in church or planning KSS or doing most of this humanitarian work you do? What's the social experience around you like?
Yeah, I'm always having people around me.
No, you're always having people because I see pictures. So.
Yeah. So people have, from tall, short, rich, poor, all walks of life. Because I've been through all walks of life. Like me now, when I look at my background, I see that I have every reason to welcome everybody. Because I'm not known because of my father's name. In fact, my father is known because of my name. So that can tell you the kind of background I came from. And so I'm always conscious of that. So when I mingle with all people.
Are you your father's first son?
Yeah, I'm the first son, actually. Yeah, the first son. And so, like now, on my free times, I go to my farm. I have my farm because I have always believed that for you to have your mouth oily during harvest time, your mouth, my hands will be sandy now that I'm farming. And then I'm going to see that this is me, this is my sweat. It gives me joy. So at some quiet time, I go and then I see my farm and the guys who are helping me do. And then I listen to music also because it's food for the soul.
Yes.
And then I read and meditate. There are philosophers, are people who, because a man who has stopped reading will be the same the way he was 5 years ago. The man who reads gets to know more. And then I make things, I open my horizon and make me think better. So I read my books. Bible, I have no option than to read every now and then.
Let me quickly ask you this again because I'm very curious and I know the viewers too would want to know. You mentioned you're your father's first son and you're a Catholic priest.
Yeah.
How did your family accept you as a first son being a Catholic priest? Because we know that you can't get married or have children. And exactly.
My immediate parents, my father and my mother, they hadn't a problem with it. In fact, the person they feared most that may stop it was my grandfather. I was his first grandchild, and he loved me so much and picked me from them, and I was staying with them. He was not a churchgoer, he was a good man. And so he loved me right from childhood. I knew that he loved me. And so I was in the church altar server and all that. And so when I opted, I wanted to go to the minor seminary, which then most that went to the minor seminary and graduated from there just went to the major seminary with ease and became priest. So when I said I wanted to go there, the fear was that my grandpa, whom I grew up with and loved me so much, was carrying a goat skin bag, who would not be comfortable with it. And then
because of obvious reasons.
The obvious reasons,
yes.
yeah. So when I told him that I wanted to do that, with a surprise of awe, he nodded, gave his blessings. And then from that moment, some said that I must become, because he gave his blessings. So I hadn't, it wasn't a big challenge. It was before presenting the intention to him that was a challenge. When he nodded, that was cool.
So for someone watching right now who wants to be in the same position, what advice would you give them?
You want to become a priest?
Yes.
Yeah, you do normal thing. Go to school, do your secondary school. At the end of the day, make your papers that will qualify you in for university, and then be always conscious that the heart of education is the education of the heart. You have your AA1s and all that, but your formators, your teachers, your right that no, you are indisciplined, you are you cannot submit to authority and all that. You will not have it. So as you in secondary school, know that yeah, the heart of education is the education of the heart. Make the papers, and then be good in character. When they recommend you, and then you go to the major seminary, and from there, you'll be posted from time to time to parishes, to schools, and then reports will be coming from those you're posted to work under. And at the end of the day, the bound to be announced. If you qualify for diaconate, you ordain the deacon, and after diaconate, they will still put you a period of probation, and then after that, the ordination proper.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Father, let me quickly ask again, who is your mentor?
Mentor. My mentor is my late grandfather. He was a good man. He was humane. He was considerate. He was sensitive. He cared. He loved. And for him, all that mattered was humanity. And that is my mentor.
And I see you're following his footsteps as well. Father, thank you so much for being part of the show. We really appreciate you coming here. And of course, I want to wish you the very best with KSS. And hopefully, I know that you'll be producing another one this year again.
Yeah, we're praying that things work. Last year, we could not have it, but then we're praying that this year, whatever cost that stopped us will no longer be there. And then we'll have it.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Welcome.
Well, guys, thank you so much for being part of the show. Like I always say, be kind to one another. And remember, you can also follow us on all our social media handles: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Is Get to Know You with Jamal. I'll see you in the next episode of the show. Goodbye.